Let's look at this question. So we are told that the perimeter of a right angled triangle is 24 centimeter. So we are told that the perimeter of a right angled triangle is 24 centimeter. The length of two of its sides are 10 centimeter and 8 centimeter. We are expected to calculate the size of the smallest angle of the triangle. Okay, so we know that this is a right angled triangle. So let's draw it. Okay, so we are told that the perimeter of this triangle is 24 centimeter. Perimeter simply means add all the sides together. So this means if you add all the sides together, you're going to get 24 centimeter. But we are given that two sides are 10 centimeter and 8 centimeter. So 10 centimeter and 8 centimeter. Who knows what the last side will be? If the perimeter is 24 centimeter and we know two sides to be 10 centimeter and 8 centimeter, what will be the size of the smallest side? 6. Correct, 6, because when you add all of them together, you're supposed to get 24 centimeter. But we already know that one side is 10 centimeter and one side is 8 centimeter. So 10 plus 8 is going to give us 18. Then 24 minus 18 is going to give us 6. That means the last side is 6 centimeter. So we have gotten the three sides of this right angle triangle. So remember, the hypotenuse is always the longest side. So the side opposite the 90 degrees is always the longest side. That means here is 10 centimeter. Okay, so we can put these other two sides anywhere we like. So 8 centimeter and 6 centimeter. So the question here is calculate the size of the smallest angle. The smallest angle of a triangle is always opposite the smallest side. The smallest angle of a triangle is always opposite the smallest side. So 90 degrees is always opposite the largest side because 90 degrees is always the largest angle of a right angle triangle. So since it's the largest angle, the side opposite it will always be the largest side. So this smallest side will be opposite the smallest angle. So let's call the angle theta. So now we've located the smallest angle. Then we want to find this smallest angle, what the smallest angle will be. We can use either SOH, we can use CAH, we can use TOA. Why can we use any of them? Because the three sides of this triangle we are given. Okay, so if I decide to use SOH, SOH is opposite over hypotenuse. If I decide to use CAH, CAH is adjacent over hypotenuse. If I decide to use tan, tan is opposite over adjacent, and all of them are given in this particular question. But let's go with sine, which is SOH. So sine theta is equal to opposite, which is 6, divided by hypotenuse, which is 10. Okay. So 6 divided by 10 is going to give us 0.6. So we have sine theta is equal to 0.6. So since we want to get theta, we need to move sine to the other side, and it's going to become sine inverse. So theta is equal to sine inverse of 0.6. I would like somebody to try and give me the answer. Sine inverse of 0.6. I think the person that said 37 got the answer. 37 got the answer. So let's look at it together. So I have my phone here. So if I do sine 0.6, this is what I'm going to get, which is wrong. Sine 0.6 is wrong. If I press, you can see inverse. On my calculator is inverse, and then you can see that sine inverse are shown. You can see sine inverse, right? So sine inverse of 0. Sorry, I've not pressed the sine inverse. So sine inverse of 0.6. You can see that is 36.869. So I guess the person that said 37 approximated. So the answer is 36.86. But let's go with the person that said 37. So theta is equal to 37 degrees. Let's try one more example, just one more example. So we are told that a man is in a boat that is floating 175 feet from the base of a 200 feet cliff. Find the angle of depression between the cliff and the boat. So a cliff is just I will not call it I will not call it a mountain, but it's an elevation above the sea. Okay, so let's look at it. So this is the cliff, and the cliff is 200 feet high. And then this is the water. This is the water. And the boat is 175 feet away from the base of the cliff. Okay, so this is the cliff, 200 feet high. The boat is here. And the distance between the boat and the cliff is 175 feet. So now they're asking us, what is the angle of depression? The angle of depression is formed if somebody is standing here and is looking at the boat. So somebody is at the top of the cliff and the person is looking at the boat. The person is not going to look up, the person is going to look down. So if somebody is standing here, the person is going to be looking down. So there will be a line of sight from the person's eyes to the boat. There will be an angle formed, theta. So now they're asking us this angle, because this angle is called angle of depression, going down. What angle will his eye form as he's looking down? What angle will his eye form as he's looking down towards the boat? Okay, so that means this angle here is 90 degrees. Okay, the angle between the base of the cliff and the water is 90 degrees. So in this question, we were not given the hypotenuse. The hypotenuse is the side opposite the 90 degrees, and we were not given. Okay, so here, this is the angle we are looking for. That means this is the opposite. So we are giving the opposite to be equal to 175 feet. This is therefore the adjacent. So we're giving the adjacent to be 200 feet. And then we are given theta. We are told to find theta. Okay, we are expected to find theta. So I want to ask you guys, are we going to use SOH, CAH, or TOA? Based on the fact we are given opposite and adjacent, is it going to be SOH, CAH, or TOA? SOH is opposite divided by hypotenuse. And there's no hypotenuse in this question. Tan, correct. Tan is the same thing as TOA. So tan is correct. So we are going to use tan. So tan theta is equal to, tan is opposite over adjacent. So where is the opposite? The opposite is 175 divided by the adjacent is 200. So what's 175 divided by 200? 0.875. So 0.875. So we are trying to get theta, which is the angle of depression. So theta is equal to, tan is going to move over this way, and when it crosses over the equal to sign, it's going to change to tan inverse. Tan inverse of 0.875. So what would that be? Tan inverse of 0.875. What are we going to get? Theta is equal to 41.2 degrees. So that gives us the angle of depression, 41.2 degrees. Yeah, you're correct too. If you say 41, you're correct. If you say 41.185, you're correct. If you say 42, if you say 42, you might not be correct, because if you round this up, you're going to get 41, not 42. So that brings us to the end of today's class. So if you're struggling with maths and you want to just start learning maths from the basics, from afresh, I have a 1-year free tutoring platform where you're just going to go through the lessons, do your homework, submit to me at the end of the week, and then you join a community of students that are learning maths. And the guarantee is, if you're serious following all that we are learning, within 1 year, You should be solid with basic math topics.